Pink bits. Pink bits. Am I allowed to talk about pink bits on a G-rated video? So the thing about pink bits is, you know, different countries have different meanings for different things. Many years ago, Americans used to talk all the time about their fanny packs. And when they did, a fanny in Australia is not what it is in America. I think you can, in Australia, we would call it a map of Tasmania. That's what we would call it. But in America, if you said to a girl, do you shave your map of Tasmania? She might have an idea because you're simply asking her about shaving. But anyway, we're supposed to be talking about pink bits in a G-rated video. So what I'm going to talk about is that recently I was sitting around a roaring bonfire, and the only other people sitting around the roaring bonfire with me were a bunch of Jeep owners. Now I hasten to add, I'm talking about Australian Jeep owners. So as we're sitting around the bonfire, and this is late April 2024, one of the blokes on his phone says, oh, Jeep's going to release a pink colour. Another bloke says, pink? They'll never sell a pink car. And the bloke says, no, look, have a look. And he comes over and he shows a photo of a pink Jeep, brand spanking new. And I think to myself, Steve, don't say anything. Don't be a big head. Don't make them all think, who's this Wally wanker? Various expressions in Australia. So I kept my mouth shut thinking, these people are supposed to be Jeep experts and they don't know about Jeep pink. What? So, I'm not sure what year it was. I think 1975. I went off on my first long interstate road trip and I went to Queensland. And am I going down a rabbit burrow? No. I went to Queensland, the Gold Coast, beautiful beaches, bikinis everywhere, mostly worn by women. Moving on. So, when I go for my very first long distance driving, not with my parents, doing it all myself, go to Queensland, stay in a fancy motel, and of course I put the TV on, 1975, I'm pretty sure it was 75, and there's this hoorah that there's a brand new TV show starting, first episode that night, and it's going to be a massive hit. And when it starts, a jukebox comes on with rock and roll music. Hey, it's got it. That's a Freudian slip. Hey! Because yes, that show, very first episode, starting that very first night, and probably what was my first night in Queensland, was Happy Days. So Happy Days went on to be a massive, massive show. I recently saw another rabbit burrow. Stick with me. Recently saw a reality show in Australia. On the reality show, a woman, maybe in her 20s, I don't know, had to guess from hand-drawn pictures what TV shows were. And there was a picture of someone in jeans and a leather jacket and slick back hair standing next to a jukebox. What's the TV show? She had no clue. She didn't know. Happy Days. Oh my God, how old do you feel? How old do I feel watching the first episode of Happy Days when it was first released? So anyway, the Fonz, turns out, how these things pan out, eh? Do you remember there was a detective show once and it was supposed to be a woman's detective agency and she was going to be the greatest detective show ever seen on TV, and she had a two-bob assistant, and the two-bob assistant came on the show and suddenly they think, ooh, this two-bob assistant, he's pretty good actually, and that two-bob assistant's supposed to have a small part, ended up completely taking over the show, ruining her career for her, was Mr. Bruce Willis. Much like that, Henry Winkler has a small role as a bit of a thug in the show. Hey, start the jukebox. Did you hear that jukebox start? He ends up being a huge star. They develop more and more around the Henry Winkler Fonz character, and at one stage they decide they're going to give him a girlfriend. Now, if you're the Fonz, who's going to be your girlfriend? Now, at the time, there was a rock singer who was huge, and she wore blue jeans and t-shirts and black leather jackets, and her name was Susie Quantrill. if I'd researched this properly, I'd be able to break into a Susie Quatro song right now, but I don't want to get sidetracked. I could edit this, but anyway, no. So moving on. Susie Quatro came into this show, and she came in as a Fonz's girlfriend, a motorcycle riding. Not that either of them ever rode motorbikes. It's all stunt people. But anyway, moving on. I know, it's just a lot longer than it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be a 2-minute video about Pink Bits. So moving on, what was her name in the show? Her name was Pinky Tuscadero. So what you notice is that Jeep, the thing about Jeep is they get bagged a lot, but who gives a shit, because they are fantastic. I should show you my Jeep. It's got all these hidden things on it that are called acorns. And you know, you go to lift up a carpet and they're suddenly imprinted somewhere where you would never see it. It's a little Jeep emblem or something. So Jeep are really great and exciting and innovative and playful with the stuff they do. So they decided they were going to bring out a toe in the water. Jesus crikey! A toe in the water with a pink colour, outrageous metallic pink, and they were going to call it Tuscadero, named after Pinky Tuscadero, for Fonz's girlfriend from Happy Days. Now, how will it sell? We're not sure how it's going to sell, so what we're going to say right from the go-get, don't worry folks, it's only going to be available for 3 months and then it's going off the market. So what happened? They put the announcement that they were going to make Jeep Wranglers, short wheelbase, shorties and long wheelbase Wranglers in Tuscadero pink, and in the first 7 days that was available, it was only going to be for 3 months, but in the first week they got 30,000 orders for Jeep Wranglers in Tuscadero pink. Did I say that was 2001 when they did that? August 2001, they said they were going to be available for 3 months. It ended up, they got so many orders in that 3 months, they shut it down, and they were still building them for the entirety of 2001, and finally caught up with orders just before Christmas 2021. So what happened is, you could only order of a short period of time, then they were available, being built up till December, and then it went off the market. 2023 was not available. So what's happened is there has been huge call, bring back Tuscadero pink. Well, finally they have agreed in America. They're bringing back Tuscadero pink. It's coming back for the 2024 model. Then the big announcement, woohoo, in Wranglers, it's coming to Australia. And now, today when I make this video, there was no wind here when I started. How long have I been making this for? Today when I'm making this video, it's because they have just announced that the Gladiator is now also going to be available in Tuscadero pink. Now if you go and look at a photo, I might try and put a Gladiator in Tuscadero. I might try and put a Gladiator in Tuscadero pink as the thumbnail here. I'm sorry to say, I love Jeep. I think the shorty and the long wheelbase look fabulous in Tuscadero pink. I'd certainly have one if I was having 2 Jeeps. I might get a short wheelbase, but you can't have a Gladiator in pink. No, that's just me and my anachronistic, I don't know what the word is, old-fashioned thinking that the Jeep Gladiator is a bit too butch to be in pink, but maybe that's just me. Anyway, this was supposed to be a short, quick video about Pink Bits, and there we go. Don't you ban me, YouTube. We'll be back. Cheers. Till next time.